Laura. And you might be having a few nervous moments now, waiting anxiously to hear what I'm going to say about it. Traditionally, I would individually thank all those people involved in the organisation of the wedding, but I think Ed and Laura would like to do that themselves first and whatever. But I would like to say a special thank you to Ed and Laura. I know they have put a lot of time and effort into today. Ed's probably just going, I think so, ask Laura. But I'm sure you'll all agree that they've put on a fantastic day for us.
Hear, hear.
Now if I can turn my attention to the bride and her bridesmaids. Laura, can I just say that you look absolutely stunning today. I've never seen you smile so much standing up there on the altar. And I hope my brother appreciates what a lucky man he is. With Michelle, Sharon and Jean, Laura's trusty bridesmaids. I haven't really met you that many times before, so maybe you always look fabulous, but can I just say you look particularly fabulous today. However, that was not only your only role today, your role was also to support Laura on what is hopefully one of the happiest days of her life. And from where I'm standing, it looks as if you have done a very good job. Now on to Ed. I'm not sure how many of you actually know, but Ed and I share a birthday. Or, as I like to put it, on the day of my 5th birthday, my birthday was stolen. This has its pros and cons. In a way, it's probably why we're very close as brothers. But when Ed asked me to be his best man, and thus give me an opportunity to tell lots of embarrassing stories about him at his wedding reception, I of course jumped at the chance. This would be payback time. This is the short version. So what can I say about Ed? Or more importantly, what will I say about Ed, considering his parents, his new wife, his new in-laws, and lots of children are present. You scared yet? First of all, I would like to say, Ed, congratulations. You're the first Valentine to take the plunge and get married. For those of you who don't know, Ed is the middle child of 5 siblings, and is the first of us to tie the knot. I can't say I would have put money on him being the first to take the plunge. Why, you ask? Well, many years ago, on a family holiday in Sydney, Australia, we all decided to do a bungee jump. This involved jumping from a platform 60 yards and getting into a pool of water. I don't know if anyone's done a bungee jump, but they're good fun at that. But basically, they tie an elasticated rope around your ankles, so you hop over to the side of the platform. They give you a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then you jump head first off the platform into the pool of water below. It was Ed's turn. He was at the edge of the platform. 3, 2, 1, nothing. Oh, please pause. Another countdown. 3, 2, 1. Again, nothing. Another pause, another countdown, and eventually Ed took the plunge, though we reckon he was pushed. For this reason, Ed, glad to see that you didn't bottle it today. Whatever about Ed being the first to take the plunge, there's something else that surprises me. Laura, I'm sure you can appreciate that you were not the first love of Ed's life. It should be known that it seems to be a Valentine family trait whereby the Valentine meets the first love of their life, spends time together, then spends time apart, before realising the first love of their life is who they want to spend the rest of their life with, and they get back together. My mum and dad went through this. Same goes with Keaton and Rosie, and Julie and Andrew. But not with Ed. This surprises me. From an early age, Ed spent time on a daily basis with the first love of his life. This all ended when he moved to Bermuda, although he used to get the odd visit. Then he moved to Boston, and that was the end. See, Ed's first love is not allowed into the US of A. Ed's first love was, of course, Irish sausages. When Ed was younger, probably up until the age of 18, he religiously had sausages and french fries for his dinner every day. Only after a month's travelling throughout Europe did Ed begin to add variety to his diet, but Irish pork sausages will always be his first love. The fact that Ed has forsaken Irish pork sausages for Laura, if that is not true love, I don't know what is. So what kind of man is Laura marrying? Personally, I think it is very important that Laura knows exactly what type of man Ed is. Although I would have suggested that to me before. We probably all know Ed as friendly, talkative, trustworthy, generous and honest, even if he does have a tendency to be a little bit stubborn and grumpy. But always perfect. So, has he always been like this? Well, trustworthy. Well, I have to say, if there was one person I would trust with my life, it would be Ed. Indeed, I reckon he's actually saved my life on more than one occasion. There was, however, one occasion when he turned out not to be trustworthy. It was a Sunday. Now, every Sunday we have a family dinner. On the menu this particular Sunday was a traditional Irish dish, bacon and cabbage. My mum had already bought the bacon, put it in the oven, and she sent Ed off to the grocery store to buy the cabbage. Now, the grocery store was about 10 minutes away, so 20 minutes later Ed arrived back with the cabbage. All we heard was my mum shouting at Ed. It turned out Ed hadn't come home with a cabbage at all. He'd come home with a lettuce. Now, to be fair, Ed was never big up on his vegetables. Considering he ate sausages and French fries for his dinner every day, he might have been forgiven for coming home with a lettuce instead of a cabbage. After all, they were both green balls, except for one thing. The lettuce was in a plastic bag with lettuce printed on it in the bag, in big green letters. This story came back to haunt Ed in years to come when at the age of 16 he got his first job in the Irish equivalent of Walmart. He went in on his first day and he was to be assigned which department he would be working in. You guessed it, he was assigned to the fruit and veg department. At least he knew the difference between a cabbage and a lettuce by then. Back to Ed's qualities, friendly and talkative. This is Ed's, although I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It really struck home how friendly Ed is when I went to visit him in Bermuda. Now, I've been told that myself Ed looks similar in appearance. I don't see it, anyway. And I know that Bermuda is a small place, but everywhere I went, people kept on honking their horn at me and waving at me. At first I thought everyone was just real friendly on the island, but it later dawned on me that everyone thought I was Ed, and that's why everyone was saying hello to me. I think just goes to show what a friendly, genuine person Ed is. And just to his final quality that I'm going to discuss, it's honesty. Ed is very much a what you see is what you get type of person, and if you want an honest opinion on something, Ed says it how it is. It is somewhat refreshing how honest he is. I would nearly go as far as saying that he can't lie. Although, I do recall one time when his honesty was called into question. I had just started my first summer job and was earning money for the first time. At this time, the family games console was kept in my bedroom, so if anybody wanted to play computer games, they played them in my room. Now, it might have been the first time since the onset of OCD, I don't know, but I used to keep exactly the equivalent of $5 worth of coins in my wallet. Over the weeks, I noticed some of my money was going missing, and I thought I just miscounted it in the first place. Then one day, the whole $5 was gone. And so I told my dad. My dad did a little bit of investigative work and made a startling discovery. After a tip-off from the local shop owner, my dad lifted Ed's mattress from his bed to discover hundreds of Panini stickers. For those of you who don't know what Panini stickers are, they're similar to baseball cards, except they're for soccer players. So the mystery of the missing funds was solved. So, Emerson, if any of your baseball cards start to go missing, I would suggest having a look underneath Ed's mattress. However, all joking aside, Laura, I think you have found yourself a good apple, someone you can trust and depend on, and you will have many years of happiness with my brother. How's my 10 minutes going?
8:32.
Sorry?
8:32.
8:32, that's not bad, I'm talking longer than that. Now for a few words about my brother's new wife, and currently my one and only, and hence favourite, sister-in-law. You didn't think you were going to get away without a mention, did you, Laura? So what about Laura? To be honest, that big body of water known as the Atlantic Ocean hasn't made it easy for us to get to know Laura. And the first time we got to meet Laura was when Ed and Laura came over to Ireland on vacation. I suppose we should have known the writing was on the wall at this point. It is one thing to bring your girlfriend home to meet your parents, but to bring her halfway across the world to meet your family, we should have known that Ed and Laura were pretty serious. We were somewhat intrigued as to what type of American girl Ed was going to bring home with him. But while we were somewhat intrigued, perhaps we should have put ourselves in Laura's shoes. She was coming to Ireland pretty much knowing that she was meeting the family of her future husband. I only later realised that this could have been a very daunting situation for her, all of a sudden finding herself in a dining room with a family of my mom, my dad, Ed's 3 brothers, his sister, our 4 leprechauns, all of us who, with the exception of my mother, cursed like troopers. It's kind of what us Irish have a reputation for, dad and drinking. Incidentally, one thing that Laura did say to us is that she'd never seen Ed really drunk. This we did not believe. We've seen Ed drunk on, let's just say, a few occasions. Do I have any good stories about these few occasions? Well, as it happens, yes, I do. But they are highly unsuitable for the speech. So if anyone wants to buy me a drink after, I will tell them stories. Back to Laura. It's all well and good giving a good impression over a few days in a foreign country while on vacation. But sometimes you have to meet a person in their natural habitat to get to know the real person. Last November, I came to the States on holidays, on vacation. And the cynics amongst you might think that I was sent over on a spying mission to see what Laura and her family were really like. Please note that I'm not disclosing that that was the case. However, if I had been sent over to do this, I would have nothing but glowing reports to take back to Ireland. Spending time with Laura and Ed in their natural habitat, I got to appreciate how well Laura and Ed work as a couple and how well they suit each other. Except for the fact that Ed likes the steak and doesn't eat seafood, and Laura loves seafood but doesn't eat red meat. But I found out that day American sports bars are the compromise. Despite seeing that they made a really good couple, I would still say that Laura was still a little bit in her shell. That was all to change at Thanksgiving. At Thanksgiving, Laura's sister Michelle and brother-in-law Matt kindly invited Laura, Ed and I to spend Thanksgiving in their family home, along with Mary and Matt and Michelle's children, Grace and Emerson. As the day progressed and we shot some hoops with Emerson in his newly decorated bedroom, had a fantastic meal thanks to Matt and Michelle, had a few drinks and then watched Aladdin, although Matt will tell you that we watched the NFL. The real Laura came to the fore. Her good relationships with Grace and Emerson say a lot about Laura as a person, but also in the presence of her family I realised this quiet and timid girl can give as good as she gets and has a sharp sense of humour, an absolutely perfect fit for Ed. Just to confirm my theory that they were perfect, we then headed down to Vegas where we were doing a half marathon. The night before the half marathon, at approximately 9 o'clock, me and Ed sat down at a blackjack table, the beer started to flow, the chips started to stack up, then the Jaeger bomb started up. Before we knew it, it was 5 a.m. in the morning. Ed was not feeling too well. I needed to go home to the Luxor. For those of you who don't know, the Luxor is shaped like a huge pyramid. I have a vague recollection that I said I would follow him later. Ed was so disorientated, or drunk, as some people like to call it, that he was unable to find his way from New York to Luxor. They're practically beside each other. And like I said, Luxor looks like a huge pyramid. You can't miss it. You have to get a taxi. You won't be surprised to hear, but Ed had forgotten his expensive jacket in New York. Equally, you won't be surprised to hear that I didn't notice either. So during the day that day, while me and Ed were recuperating in time for the half marathon, Laura went off to New York, went to Lost and Found and retrieved Ed's jacket for him. If that isn't yet another sign of true love, I don't know what is. And just so Laura would be in my good books as well, she let me beat her in the half marathon too. And that's about all I have to say about the happy couple. I wanted to finish by saying something profound about happiness and marriage. However, after hours of Googling, I couldn't find anything, so you'll just have to make do with this pearl of wisdom. To be happy with a man, you must understand him a lot and love him a little. To be happy with a woman, you must love her a lot and not try to understand her at all. And my little pearl of wisdom in regards to marriage, just have a little think about this one. Marriage is not a word, it is a sentence. And on that note, let me just ask you all to raise your glasses as I make a toast to the happy couple. Ed and Laura, may you have many wonderful years of happiness together ahead of you both. To Ed and Laura.